You're watching ABC7 News at 4, starting with First Alert Weather.
Good afternoon. I'm Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan. Hope you're having a great day. Some clouds have moved in, along with some very light rainfall as well. This is all in advance of a storm system, which promises to bring some pretty chilly weather our way later on. Now, we'll talk about that in just a little bit, but we had some sunshine today. Another warm day it was, but clouds came in. I don't think we'll see any record highs because of these clouds that have moved in late. Along with those clouds, a little bit of light rainfall. You can see that on the lens of the camera there. Then there's some sunshine behind it, so a little weak piece of energy moving from the south to the north, and you can see a lot of energy to the north of us now. That frontal boundary and low pressure area is getting organized now, and it's going to draw some cooler air behind it. The low pressure area will again track off to the northeast, where it will intensify over the Atlantic. And as far as the frontal boundary goes, that cold front's still well back here, so that front has a long way to go before it reaches us, but it'll be here in place by Thursday midday. You can see some of that light rainfall now moving up the coast. We had some light rain near Northport, also in downtown Sarasota. A little bit of light rain near Anna Maria Island as well. Should not be around all that long as it moves off to the north, and that little piece of energy creating a little bit more activity east of Wauchula. Current conditions, we have some clouds. It's 82 now, and winds are out of the south. The pressure 30.01, which has been holding steady. The dew point 72. Temperatures across the area into the 80s here, but look at the cooler weather over the Panhandle. 50s now into places like Pensacola, 60s into, again, Tallahassee. So cooler weather is on the way. I'll let you know the timing of it and how much rain we can expect coming up in just a few minutes. Scott, Jacqueline.
All right, Bob, thank you. Now to our top story. Families and commissioners in Manatee County want transportation officials to make immediate changes on local deadly roadways.
Commissioners say the area east of I-75 cannot wait any longer for those planned improvements. ABC7's Erica Jackson joins us live from the intersection of State Road 64 and Pope Road, one of those intersections county commissioners have dubbed dangerous. Erica?
Jacqueline, Scott, good evening. As you can see behind me, a memorial still sits here. It's a cross covered in a Hawaiian shirt, and it honors the two teens killed here at this intersection while on their way to homecoming. County commissioners wrote a letter to the Florida Highway Patrol to increase patrols along State Road 64 and nearby State Road 70. They want FHP troopers to enforce speed limits to slow down traffic and avoid future crashes. The Florida Department of Transportation has already made temporary improvements to this intersection of 64 and Pope Road. While FDOT has long-term plans for this area, commissioners argue they want to increase safety before that project begins. Now, we spoke with the father of one of the teens killed in the crash here at 64 and Pope Road, and he's putting part of the blame back on county commissioners. We'll explain why coming up tonight on ABC7 News at 6. Reporting live in East Manatee County, Erica Jackson, ABC7, your Suncoast News.
All right, Erica, thank you. A head-on collision along River Road in Northport leaves two people dead. That crash happened around 7:30 last night near East River Road. They say an Englewood woman and a Rotunda West man were both killed in the crash. The cause and who was at fault are still under investigation. A section of River Road had to be shut down for several hours last night while police investigated. A controversial lift station project in Sarasota just grew more expensive. A recent jury decision involving lift station 87 will cost the city a reported $600,000, but legal fees around the case topped $7 million. That would raise the cost associated with the project to nearly $50 million. It will be the city's biggest sewer station and is now going to up in Lake Lukewood Park in Sarasota. It's 2 years from completion and about 10 years past the deadline. One former commission candidate says the city is fortunate that many taxpayers are not following this case.
How did it ever get to this? 10 years late, still not done, turning what could be a beautiful park into a wastewater treatment plant. This is exactly what happens when people aren't looking. It's the government that you get when you don't vote.
We reached out to City Manager Tom Barwin, but a spokesman said he is not available for comment. Jacqueline joins us now with the latest on the recounts for 3 races throughout the state of Florida.
Scott, few changes to initial votes have been found as the first recount numbers are being completed by county election offices. The machine recounts continued taking place across the state today in races for U.S. Senate, Governor, Commissioner of Agriculture, and several legislative and local government seats. County canvassing boards are required to report results by 3 p.m. on Thursday. At that point, races with margins of 0.25% or less will go to manual or hand recounts. Leon County Supervisor of Elections Mark Early says the results from the recount are basically what he had expected.
That says a lot for how well not only we did the process, but I expect similar results across the state. When we do recounts, you don't see dramatic changes, and that's what's borne out here, and that's what I've seen borne out in most other recounts I've been involved with.
In races that do go to those manual recounts after the Thursday deadline, county canvassing boards will examine the out-stacked ballots, which include those with overvotes or undervotes, as well as ballots with the write-in option filled in. Now, although they did encounter a setback yesterday that required them to recount thousands of ballots, elections officials in Manatee County did resume this morning without a hitch. Yesterday, Manatee elections officials discovered that the tabulation machines were counting overvotes, but not counting undervotes. Overvotes occur when voters mark the paper ballot ovals for more than one candidate in a race. Those undervotes occur when no candidate is selected in a specific race. And two voter rights groups are suing to prevent Florida Governor Rick Scott, who is running for U.S. Senate, from having any role in that election recount. Common Cause Florida and the League of Women Voters of Florida filed that federal lawsuit yesterday. The groups are seeking a temporary restraining order and a preliminary injunction to remove Scott from any role in the recount of the 2018 Florida general election. And over in Bay County, Florida, the election supervisor is defending his choice to let some voters illegally cast ballots by email. Supervisor of Elections Mark Anderson says he had to take care of nearly 150 voters that were displaced by Hurricane Michael. He says he and his staff made sure they signed an oath, verified identification, and secured that information. According to Anderson, the ballots were returned by email, similar to policies for overseas voters. Secretary of State Ken Detzner, who issued an executive order on extending early voting, said, quote, voting by fax or email is not an option. But Anderson insists that he did the right thing.
Anyone that feels in the devastation that we experienced and the categories or the limitations that we had on our citizens of Bay County, if you want to turn around and take these votes away from voters because it's not the normal prescribed issue, I would just say you ought to be ashamed of yourselves, because what we did is take care of voters.
Local media reached out to Secretary Detzner's office for comment but has not heard back. CNN is suing President Trump and top White House aides for suspending CNN correspondent Jim Acosta's press pass. The lawsuit says denying Acosta's access to the White House violates his and CNN's First and Fifth Amendment rights. The White House revoked Acosta's so-called hard pass last week after the reporter angered President Trump by asking him multiple questions at a news conference. White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders said, quote, this is just more grandstanding from CNN, and we will vigorously defend against his lawsuit. Stay with us. A new device being used in Punta Gorda looks to detect credit card skimmers. Plus, we'll show you the world's first artificial intelligence news anchor who made its debut. And a Florida man decided to take a spin around a neighborhood dressed as a famous cartoon character. That is until the cops showed up. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
We just finished dinner and it was time for homework.
He hates homework.
It makes no sense.
I don't know how he finds anything in his backpack.
I can't find my backpack.
I couldn't even read his handwriting.
Holding the pencil makes my hand hurt.
I know he's bright.
Why is it so hard for me?
He's just gotta
trying as
try a
hard
little
as
harder.
I can.
When you can see learning and attention issues from their side, you can be on their side. Go to understood.org, a free online resource with support and tools to help your child thrive.
Christmas Traditions by Lux Art Silks, where more is merrier. Make your holidays sparkle with style. Browse our amazing showroom, cute collectible cottages, and beautiful Christmas displays. Find the inspiration, selection, and quality you need to deck the halls merry and bright. Christmas Traditions also features the area's largest selection of quality pre-lit Christmas trees, every size, shape, and color, and plenty of decorations to make your home shine for the holidays. Christmas Traditions by Lux Art Silks, where more is merrier. Visit us on New 301, just a quarter-mile north of University Parkway.
Happy Honda Days are here, and you're gonna like the holiday clearance savings. Save on the Accord. On sale for just $249 a month. That's the North American car of the year for less than the competition. Our most impressive Honda ever. On clearance for only $249 a month, loaded with more options, including a turbocharged engine and Honda Sensing. Do not miss these Honda clearance savings this week at your local Honda dealer.
Our accolades are great. Just wait until you see our prices. Rugs as Art, Sarasota's only area rug superstore.
My life motto is keep moving. And as hard as it was when my husband passed away, I knew I had to keep doing what I love. Oops, coming. But I needed help with my insurance, and that's what the NAIC provides. They have resources to help you and your family make the best decision, and they'll help you to keep moving forward, just like me.
Serving part-time as a soldier in the Army National Guard can give you a head start on your career. Gain practical experience with technology and equipment to get an edge in the civilian world. Learn about the paid training and career opportunities available to you at nationalguard.com.
ABC7, the Suncoast's official Florida lottery station.
According to the University of Florida, credit card skimmers are a multi-billion-dollar problem each year. So to help fix that problem, researchers at the university have created a new device that's called a skim reaper to catch credit card thieves. The device will be able to test if a skimmer has been placed on a machine at the pump. Now, police say that thieves can either place a device on the inside of a gas pump or the outside to steal someone's credit card information. Punta Gorda now requires gas stations to use a specific lock to protect the inside of the gas pump, so that they hope this device can help protect the outside of the machine from those skimmers. And coming up at 5:30, you'll hear more about how the new device would work. Let's get to Jacqueline now for a look at what's trending today.
Scott, if you're thinking about speeding through a neighborhood dressed as Fred Flintstone, well, maybe don't. A Pasco County man learned that the hard way when he was pulled over by police. Don Swartz was driving a smart car altered to replicate the show's famous Footmobile. And of course, he was dressed as Fred Flintstone because, of course, why not? The Pasco County Sheriff's Office Facebook post said Swartz was cited and his vehicle was impounded. But get this, then they revealed that mock encounter was all in good fun. 4 cheetah cubs are beginning to explore their habitat at a wildlife refuge in Northwest Florida. The 2 female and 2 male cubs were born on October 6th at White Oak Conservation, which is north of Jacksonville. The center's owner says their birth is a victory for a species that is vulnerable to extinction. The cubs may stay with their mother until they are 2.5 years old, but they will not be released into the wild. Instead, they'll remain as part of the North American insurance population of this species. Tiny whimsical buildings are popping up all over the UK's Isle of Man. The creations appear grand and majestic, but in reality they are only about 15 inches tall. The fairy tale-like minis are the work of Swedish art collective Anonymous MMX. The artists draw inspiration from everything from Beatrix Potter to Disney, and it is very fitting considering that island has a long history with fairies. The creators wanted their works to appear as if they had always been there. Well, one day when you're watching the news, you could be seeing a virtual journalist. China's state news agency debuted a virtual anchor last week. The artificial intelligence presenter is designed to deliver the news 24 hours a day. It is modeled on a real-life Chinese anchor, where it tries to simulate human voice, facial expressions, and gestures. Take a look.
Hello, everyone. I'm an English artificial intelligence anchor. This is my very first day in Xinhua News Agency. My voice and appearance are modeled on Zhang Zhao, a real anchor with Xinhua. The development of the media industry calls for continuous innovation and deep integration with the internet.
Well, the developer believes the technology will reduce costs and improve efficiency, especially for websites and social media. Well, let's check in now with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan for a look at our first alert forecast. Bob?
A very interesting story there. We are looking at a different kind of weather today. We had some sunshine, a few clouds around, and then clouds this afternoon, and a few light rain showers are been moving across the skies. You can see this is out of Lakewood Ranch, and you can see those clouds starting to thicken up a little bit. These are stratocumulus clouds, meaning that if you see any rainfall with these, it'll be very light and will not be very intense. Showers and thunderstorms, though, we are expecting Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday night into Thursday morning, with the approach of a pretty strong cold front, which will cool us down quite significantly, especially on Friday. Chilly weather, though, begins to move in by midday on Thursday. High temperatures will actually be falling throughout the afternoon on in through Thursday, and then Friday morning will start off on a cool note, and then we'll get back to average pretty quickly. Average highs right around 79 degrees, average lows right around 61 or so. So that'll be back to at least average, not above average like we've seen over the past couple of days. Here's what's going on now as far as the latest radar picture goes. You can see a lot of rain to the north of us. That's the barrier line between the colder air to the north, and we're in the warm, moist air out to the south. Eventually, an area of low pressure develops here and then tracks up off toward the northeast, and behind it, it will sweep a cold front our way, and that cold front will indeed cool us off and also dry us out too. And it should be a great weekend coming up both Saturday and Sunday. Right now, as I mentioned, that light rainfall continuing to move northward at around 10 to 15 miles an hour. You can see some of that heavier activity well inland into eastern portions of Highlands County and northeast Hardy County, that moving off to the northeast. And looks like for us, the rain is over for the most part. Just some light rain still possible over parts of Manatee County, but not a lot for area beaches. A lot of clouds, though. There's a little break in those clouds. We are looking for the forecast tomorrow. We'll start off warm, mid-70s, and then warm up into the mid-80s by midday, and looks like it will be well above average, and then a good chance for showers and even a few thunderstorms in through tomorrow, late afternoon, evening, and into early Thursday morning. So those showers and a slight chance for an isolated thunderstorm possible with the passage of this front. This particular model depicting that rainfall not moving in until really later on in the afternoon. You can see that start to pop up due to the heat of the day in advance of the cold front. Heavier storms to our north near the area of that low pressure. By Thursday morning, that rain still lingering in places, so scattered showers and storms possible on Thursday morning. By midday Thursday, though, that front will start to move through. That's when our winds will shift to the north, and that's when we'll start to cool off. So that's the timing. Get a look at the start for tomorrow. We'll stay in the low 70s to start things off, and then clouds and a few showers developing in the afternoon. On Wednesday, high temperature still warm, mid-80s here near the beaches and upper 80s inland. And then by looks like Thursday morning will be a little bit cooler, but not so much. There'll be temperatures falling throughout the day on Thursday. Once the front gets through, you see those temperatures hanging right around 74 at 1, and then actually going down from that from 3 to 4 to 5 o'clock. Going down also, the chances of this tropical system developing. Good news on that front. Too much shear in the atmosphere that the models didn't see, and thus the National Hurricane Center really lowering the chances on this developing into a storm. Down to 20%. It was as high as 90% yesterday, and now down to 20%. You can see again the motion and movement will be off to the northwest, so no concerns really to our state. We never really had much concern with that because of the cold fronts that are sliding on by. Well, 82 right now. We have some clouds, and the south winds at 10, bringing that warm, moist air our way. And as far as that forecast goes, this is the GFS model showing that rain coming in Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday evening, even into Thursday morning. Snow down into northern sections of Alabama and possibly even to North Georgia. And then the colder air filters in. So a couple of days of some cool temperatures, and then things start to warm back up, but not way above average, which is good. Showers and storms tomorrow late in the day. East to northeast winds at 10 knots, and then subsiding to 5 in the afternoon, then picking up out of the north later on. The forecast, and 60% chance for rain tomorrow afternoon, evening, and into Thursday morning. Still a 40% chance up to midday on Thursday, and then it turns cool. Lows on Friday morning, 55. Saturday in the low to mid 50s. Near the beaches, it'll still be into the upper 50s there, but that's a nice cool break. Be sure to download our new and improved version of our First Alert Weather app. Again, you can go to your app store and download it for free. We have updates on that, as well as severe weather warnings if they are put out for us. And it is all available to you on all devices. So go and download those as soon as you can.
Well, Bob, the death toll in the north rising and near hurricane force gusts expected in the south. Firefighters in California face another uphill battle today. Still, they are managing to make some progress.
The Hill Fire is now nearly fully contained, and the numbers are slowly ticking up for the other two. Here's a report.
Paradise Lost. The campfire burning in Northern California is now the deadliest in state history. The majority of lives lost come from this community, now burned to the ground.
A whole town was wiped off the face of the earth in a matter of 8 hours.
There is nothing left. All my neighbors except one are gone.
Meanwhile, fierce winds continue to threaten lives and homes in Southern California's Woolsey Fire. Gusts could reach near hurricane force on Tuesday, and there's little chance of rain.
I know a lot of people are interested in when the next rain event will be. We are not seeing any indication of precipitation in the next week and possibly through Thanksgiving.
Even for those who are used to dealing with fires, this experience has reached a new level.
The embers get up inside the eaves and just burn the house from the roof down. Just unbelievable. Tell you, now this is my 4th fire, but this is the worst.
Harrowing stories of escapes and close calls are emerging.
I called him because my car was completely surrounded by flames and I couldn't see out the window, and I started to fill up with smoke, and I called him and I said, "Nick, I'm gonna die and I'm not gonna make it out of here. There's just flames everywhere and I don't know what to do." And he said, "Don't die, run. If you're gonna die, die fighting."
Kafa. That's Karen Kafa reporting. When we come back, we'll show you some highlights from this year's Siesta Key Crystal Classic.
I'm Linda Carson from Suncoast View. Coming up Wednesday morning live at 9, glamorous stores, one-of-a-kind treasures, and big bargains for your holiday shopping. We preview Ladies' Night Out at St. Armand Circle and see what they recommend for this season's decorations. Meet a southeastern guide dog puppy on his way to becoming a superhero. He's been seen over 1 million times online. We'll preview Guide Dog's new animated short film, and Geyer's Sausage Kitchen is in our kitchen. All that's coming up Wednesday morning, live at 9.
It's year-end clearance time at every Gettle location. Over 3,000 new vehicles, over 1,000 used vehicles on clearance right now at Gettle.com. And Gettle Pre-Owned Certified Plus means buying with peace of mind. Get credit help, fast cash for your car, and year-end clearance prices right now at a Gettle dealership near you. Gettle's got it. At Gettle.com.
This is an important message for anyone with Medicare. You may be eligible for an all-in-one Medicare plan that combines hospital, medical, and prescription drug coverage together with extra benefits that may include dental, vision, hearing aids, and much more. Some of these plans have a $0 monthly premium regardless of your income. That's right. For one low plan premium, or in some cases a $0 premium, you may be able to get coverage for your hospital visits, doctor appointments, prescription drugs, routine dental care, eyeglasses and contact lenses, hearing aids, and possibly more. Today may be the first time you've heard about this type of Medicare plan. The advisors at the Medicare.com helpline are licensed insurance agents who will explain more when you call. Call now to see if you qualify. Call the number on your screen now. Call now to see if you qualify for these benefits. You worked hard for your Medicare. Now is the time for your Medicare to work hard for you. Not affiliated with or acting on behalf of any government agency or program.
Know your land, know your prey.
What are we doing?
Saturdays at 5:30 and Sundays at 2 on the ABC7 live stream.
America was built on a love for the outdoors. We are a nation of sportsmen, blessed with magnificent natural resources. With broad interests across water and field, we are united in our devotion to nature and conservation. Join us every week for the best shows celebrating the outdoor lifestyle. Outdoor America. Live free.
This weekend on the ABC7 live stream.
Well, Thomas, you've got pre-diabetes. But with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon, too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have prediabetes. Big time.
Download the all-new ABC7 First Alert Weather app now.
Well, check this out. Organizers of the Siesta Key Crystal Classic sharing these photos on Facebook. They're of some of the impressive sculptures that were lit up in different color lights after sunset. The four-day festival wrapped up yesterday. And an update now for anyone who plans to visit Lido Key over the next couple of months. Heavy equipment is now on the shoreline and active work zones are roped off there. According to the city of Sarasota, crews working on the emergency beach renourishment project have not yet started any dredging or pumping of sand, but that work could start at any time. Beachgoers should stay away from these work zones and be extra cautious. The project is expected to take a little more than 3 months to complete. Back to Jacqueline now for a look at some of the other stories we're working on tonight.
Scott, an emergency renourishment project is officially underway in Sarasota. Coming up at 5, we'll have more details about how long that heavy equipment will be on Lido Beach that you just mentioned and what it means for beachgoers. And at 6, as we continue to learn more details about a fatal accident in Northport, we'll hear what the city is doing to make the road safer. And tonight at 7, football participation is declining because of the dangers of the game. We'll hear of new techniques and technology to save that sport. Let's check back in with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan for a final look at your forecast for this 4 o'clock hour. Bob.
Good afternoon, everyone. We are looking at some clouds and some showers around. Very light rain. They're scattered about. They may run into a sprinkle or two here and there. On your beach walk, there is some clearing trying to take place right now. Winds out of the west-southwest at 5 to 10 miles an hour. We'll have variable clouds at times, a west wind, as I mentioned, a southwest wind. Sunset will be at 5:40. And that was Skip Ross. That was from his picture last night of the sunset on Siesta. 82 degrees right now. Some clouds are around at the airport anyway. And the winds are out of the south at 10. You're going to see this dew point number really come down by Thursday night. You'll see Thursday night when we're reporting this will be down into the 50s, low 50s. And that means they're going to get pretty cool weather here for a couple of days once this whole system gets its act together and eventually swings a front our way. But that isn't happening tomorrow. Tomorrow late, we'll start to see some rainfall move in. The actual front will move through on Thursday, just before noon, it looks like, and that's when cooler things will start to happen. But as far as the storms go, a lot of activity on the East Coast, pretty strong there. Just a few light rain showers now and again. More on the weather at 5. Scott.
Bob, thank you. Thank you for joining us at 4. We'll see you again at 5 o'clock.